Hi guys, welcome to this tutorial. I wanted to apologize for taking a while to put this tutorial out, so thank you very much for your patience. Hopefully it'll be worth it. We're looking at a classic today, Stairway to Heaven, played on bass. This is going to be a little bit different to my Stairway to Heaven video that I put out. I actually figured out another way of playing it that I think is a little bit easier, so I'm going to show you guys how to play the famous introduction to Stairway to Heaven today. I hope you guys like it. Okay, so the tuning for regular strings is E, A, D flat, G flat. So basically take your standard tune bass, take the D string and tune it down a half step to D flat, and do the same to your G string and tune it down a half step to G flat. I'm not tuned in that way, but you'll be able to use the same intervals, the same patterns and shapes that I'm using, and it'll sound like Stairway to Heaven except in a lower key. If you have Piccolo strings, you can tune your bass to C, F, B, E, low to high, C, F, B, E, and you could follow along and play in the exact same key that I'm playing it in. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play you guys the demo. Please look in the description at the chapter markers so you can see like the different sections, and I hope you guys like it. Here we go. Okay, let's look at section 1 then of Stairway to Heaven. So we're going to start off the first bar. We're going to use our index finger to press down on the 7th fret of your E string. And then you're going to use your left hand to press the 5th fret on the A string, the 5th fret on the D string, and the 5th fret on the G string. And how I do those three is I do index finger, middle finger, ring finger. Okay, so if you're finding it difficult to do it with the ring finger, you could always lift your middle finger up and do it again with the middle finger, but you want the notes to sustain. So this is a good opportunity to practice building up the strength in your left hand for tapping. So it's going to look like this. Okay, and you know, hearing that's really sustaining, that's ringing out. We like that. We want to keep that going. All right, so index, index, middle, ring, like that. Okay. Next bit is you're going to use your right hand, index on the 6th fret on the E string, and then middle finger on the 7th fret on the G string, and you're going to do them both at the same time. You're going to create a chord like this. Okay, so it goes. All right, you got to come down both at the same time on those two notes. And then again, you're going to play the 5th fret on the A string and the D string like this. Okay, so we'll have the first two chords going on then. All right. Next bit then is you're going to play this 7th fret on the G string one more time, and then you're going to go up to the 8th fret. Okay, and you're going to hold that as you're doing notes with your left hand. So it's going to look like this. All right, so let's just start that again from that second chord. All right, now as you're doing that, when you come down on this 8th fret, you're also going to play the 5th fret on the E string with your index finger, and then you can see the pattern that's happening. With your 2nd finger, play the 5th fret on the D string, and with your ring finger, sorry, this is your 2nd finger, middle finger, play the 5th fret on the A string, and then with your ring finger, play the 5th fret on the D string. Okay, so let's just look at that from the beginning. There's your double stop, okay, chord. All right, and when you come down here, also index finger on the E string on the 5th fret. All right. So I'm going to play that for you again, that first sort of couple bars, nice and slow. Together. Okay. And then you're going to do one more tap on this 8th fret of the G string, and then we're going to move to some finger style. So let me play that for you again one more time, really nice and slow. Double stop. And then one last tap there. Okay? So after that bit, you're going to go to a chord. If you play guitar at all, this is just basically a D chord. And you're going to strum it all with your thumb, because you're going to be in this position on the bass. So to be able to sort of get over here and do one of those is going to be a little bit hard to do. So you're going to strum from here on the neck, because this is where your right hand is, and then you're going to have that time to come over and do finger style. Okay, so after that last tap, you're going to have your, you're going to play open string E. You're going to have your index finger, your first finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the D string, and your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. Okay, so it's going to be open, first finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the D string, and middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G string to get that chord. Okay, so it's going to be, okay, so you're going to strum down and then go D string, A string. So it looks like this. Strum down, D string, A string. Okay? And to complete that chord, you're just going to do one more note on the top string, on the G string. And then we're going to go to a new chord. So it's going to go D string, A string, G string. Okay, one more time. So it's going to strum, D string, A string, G string. Okay? So strum, D string, A string, G string, and then from there, okay, 3rd finger, your ring finger. I grew up playing the cello, so I always think 1st finger, 2nd finger, 3rd finger, 4th finger. So if I say that instead of ring finger or middle finger, that's what they mean. You're gonna do your open G string and 3rd fret on the E string at the same time. Okay? And then you're going to come and you're going to form a chord that looks like this. Okay? And how I'm doing this chord is 3rd finger is really stretching to hit this 3rd fret on the E string. 2nd finger is on the 2nd fret on the A string. And 1st finger is on the 1st fret on the D string. Okay? So it's going to go, and then you're going to press down. Now I don't go to this chord right away because I want time to get to it. Okay, so we've just done this chord here. Okay, and that's I'm using my ring finger on my right hand, my thumb, to play the G string and the E string at the same time, and then I form the chord quickly, and I go D string, A string. Okay? Okay, so the pattern for that is hold. So you want to get that rhythm right, okay? And you could go to sort of get more depth to the sound if you want. All right? Okay, so let's go from this chord here. Then you're going to go. and that's going to complete that first section. All right, so what's happening there is you're on your E string, going 5th fret to 7th fret, play it twice. 1, 1, 2, then open G, okay, and then first finger on the 5th fret of the G string. All right, and there you have that whole section. So again, from this chord. Okay, now that's the first section of the piece. Now, in the introduction to Stairway Heaven, you're going to play that through twice. But in between the first time through and the second time through, there's a small little transition that looks like this. So you've just gone. Then you're going to go again this 7th fret on the E string. Oh, that's it, sorry. So you can go 7th fret on the E string, then you're going to go 6th fret on the D string, and then you're going to play the open G, okay? But when you play your open G, you're going to come down and you're going to mute that D string, so it sounds like this. And then that builds into it again, all right? Another way of doing it is you could go like this. And then come into the section again. So either way is fine, actually. I like going like this because my hand is then already here. All right, because like when you're playing 4-string bass like this, you're having to oftentimes shift quite a lot. With guitar, because you have the 5 and the 6 strings, you can shift more horizontally. Well, bass, you're shifting a lot vertically. So you want to think about limiting that amount of movement as much as you can. So you can go like this. It does sound cool. Or if you want, you can go 6th fret on the D string and then open G string, okay? And then you go into that section again and you repeat that section again. And that's the first section of the tune. So let's have a look at the second section now. Okay, let's have a look at the second section of the piece. Again, you've played that first section twice with that transition happening between the first two sections. So the end of that first section that you played the second time, if that makes sense, goes like this. Okay, now you're not going to do that. You're not going to do that bit. Okay, you're just going to go like this. Hold that first for 1 count. 1, 2. Okay, so it's actually you hold that for 2 counts, and then you're going to do sort of you're gonna slap 7th fret on the E string, 9th fret on the E string, and 10th fret on the E string. Okay, to get some dynamics into the piece. Okay. Okay, and then you're going to go open A string. 1st fret on the D string, oops, sorry, open A string, first fret on the D string, and then open G string, okay? All right, now something that you might want to think about doing is when you want to do like a pop sound, okay? Because I've noticed when I was playing this through a couple times, sometimes it sounds good to get that sort of pop sound in there. Okay, you might want to decide when that sounds good. There's one section I think it sounds really good. I'll tell you in a sec. So guys, and then you're going to do this chord again, which looks familiar from the first section. It's open E, 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the D string, and middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. Okay. Okay, so the plucking is G string and E string at the same time. Okay, so G string and E string at the same time, then D, A, and then G string again. So a lot of these patterns are repeating. So it goes, then back to this chord, all right? G string and 3rd fret on the E string at the same time, and then again going to this position. Okay, so 1st fret on the D string, 2nd fret on the A string, and then again you come back and pluck that high string again. So those patterns are repeating. So it goes same plucking pattern, I think. Then high string, then double stop, then high string. Okay, so again this section, whoops. Okay, now here's where I think like this sort of slap sounds good. Okay, so we're going open D string, oh sorry, the pop, open D string, first fret on the D string, second fret on the A string. Okay, so we've just done. Okay, now what you could do is you could slur it, so that basically means that you're only plucking one of the notes. Okay, so open D string, then come down, and then that's where that note comes in. So I'm only popping once. Okay. Alright, so that section again, let's look at that. Or, okay. Then we're going to do, it's very similar. We're going to again start off with the 7, 9, 10, open A, second fret on the D string, open G. But instead of doing, we're going to do a chord that looks like this. You're going to have your fourth finger on the third fret of the G string, your ring finger on the third fret of the D string, and you're just basically like you're plucking is you're going to come up and do the A, D, G. Okay, so you're going to come and do 3 in a row. You could do it like that if you want. I do it like this. So thumb, index, middle. Then come back down. So those three strings, then come back down. D, A, then G. Ending with that high one again, that same sort of pattern. Okay, so we have. Okay, now what you're going to do here is you're going to do that chord that we've seen before, except you're going to, instead of having it like this, all right, you're going to have your fourth finger down right here on the third fret. Okay, that's why it's important that you do this chord like this, rather than like this, or rather than like that, because again, you want to be prepared for that next chord you're going to do. So we have. Okay, now we're going to do a chord just by putting our ring finger, middle finger down on the second fret of the G string, index finger on the second fret of the A string, and it's going to go like this. Okay. So what I'm doing there is I'm going. So watch my fourth finger here. So that's not a strum, that's like that slur again. Okay, so I'm only doing one strum, but then I'm sort of, by lifting that up, that's where that note comes in. Okay, I'm gonna do that bit slowly. So it's basically like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the quick bit. Gotta do that bit fast. And if you want to, those last two notes, instead of doing, you can go like this. Okay, just to get some more dynamics in. And if you play it just right, you should be able to tap that harmonic and that harmonic, which is basically an octave higher than these top two notes. So you might be able to get them both at the same time if you get your finger just right. Okay, so let's look at that this second section again from the beginning. Okay, now it goes through one more time, just basically the same way that you did it the first time through. Okay, so the second time through, we have that new chord, and then the first time through, that's basically the same as the third time through of this section. So it repeats. Okay, so let me just show you how that works basically. Here's the change. Basically the same exact way as the first time through. Okay, so the very last time through, it's going to look like this. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm playing this chord 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and the third time I'm letting it ring. Okay, and then I'm coming and I'm doing artificial harmonics, which is basically, if you look at the top 3 notes I'm playing, okay, those are those top 3 notes an octave higher, okay? We're at the 14th fret of the A string, the 13th fret of the D string, and the 12th fret of the G string. So if I'm holding that same chord, but I put my finger lightly down on it, and then I pluck that string, I can create a harmonic. So if you just look at the the A string, the 2nd fret, an octave higher than that is the 14th fret. So if you put your thumb right on the fret very lightly, okay, you should be able to pluck that, okay, and hear a harmonic. All right, the same with the 13th fret on the D, and the same with just the 12th fret on the G string. So then we could go. Okay. Harmonic on the 7th fret of the E string, harmonic on the 12th fret of the G string, and then harmonics on the 5th fret of the D string and the A string, and then end with a harmonic on the 7th fret of the E string. Okay, so. Okay, so again, you're pressing your finger very lightly down on the string, not pressing it all the way right on the fret, and then you're lifting it up just as you pluck it. All right, and you want to be plucking as well towards the bridge of your bass. And if you really want this sounding nice, you'll have less neck pickup and more bridge pickup. So if I have neck pickups, they're a little bit more muted, but if I have bridge pickups, it's like it's ringing out more. So I hope you like this arrangement. There are some different variations that you can play on this. Like I said, there's a couple times when you can get the strums in, or the taps in, or the sort of the slapping in. Yeah, again, so I hope you guys can take this and mess around with it, play it for friends, and I hope you have fun with it. Let me know if you like this tutorial. Thanks again so much for your support. It means a lot, and I'll see you guys soon with a new video. Okay.